Good morning, everybody. I saw a really important question in one of the Facebook groups recently. A sign shop had noticed that one of their clients had started buying signs from a competitor down the street. And the question was, should I call the client to figure out what went wrong? And my immediate answer is yes, but not why you think. Yes, can you try to get the customer back? Sure, maybe. But more importantly, you need to figure out what went wrong in the sale and why they moved down to the competitor, right? Because anybody can build a sign. So if you're not setting yourself apart, then yes, they're going to just move down the street, especially if they can get a little bit better price. So besides the sign, what do you bring to the table? What value are you adding as a vendor to your customer? So let's talk about that. If you're a smaller shop and you do banners and coroplast signs and stickers and those sorts of things, most likely someone's ordering from you because they need something. They're having an event at their store or a birthday party, a personal whatever. And so the important thing, the way that you can add value there is that you make ordering the sign really easy. You make paying for the sign really easy. You deliver a quality sign on time, and then follow up with a nice little thank you email asking them to write a review or I'm laughing because this is what you get when you feed stray cats in the neighborhood. Never ending. I got so many of them. Five. I don't even own one of them. Anyway, I think the most important thing is to make sure that you're following up on the end of the sale, that they were happy with what you delivered, and hopefully you'll write a review or whatever. Now, if you're doing larger projects, let's say you do retail centers, apartment complexes, or whatever, so those relationships, most likely no one's going to just Google you and spend $100,000. It's going to require building a relationship, and with that relationship, you really need to bring a lot of value. And so, how would you do that? Let's say, for example, you have a property management company you deal with. They're signing up tenants all the time. They need help making sure that their tenant gets the maximum amount of signage allowed by the city and that it falls in line with whatever criteria that they had originally laid out. So what we would do a lot of times is we would go ahead and review the drawings on behalf of the landlord, and oftentimes would review the sign criteria once a year to make sure that it matched city code. And if you maintain those kind of relationships with property managers and you review their sign criteria for free, we used to write in the sign criteria, it would say sign criteria provided by Joe's Sign Company, and then with our phone number. And so we would get so many deals on that. And it's because of the value that we brought to that relationship. Architects are another perfect example. So they design all these pretty buildings, they know what the building codes are, but most times they don't know what the sign codes are, and sign codes change. So what we would do a lot of times is we would host luncheons at architects' offices, and we would bring samples and talk about materials and what would aesthetically look amazing with their building. We'd talk about city code, and then would design projects and do projects with them. And because we brought the value first to the table, it led to just zillions of dollars in sign sales. So when you're thinking about your sales process, closing out your sales, making sure at the end of every project your customer is super happy, phone calls, emails, whatever, address punch lists right away. And don't just wait for your client to go down the street to somebody else, because that's what happens. It's human nature. You're unhappy with somebody that fixed your car, you're going to go to the next mechanic down the road. And a lot of times you won't even call and say anything unless it's something major. But for the most part, you're just going to look for another vendor. So it's important. Yes, go out today, sell some signs, but ask yourself the question, how am I bringing value to this relationship? Cheers. Me and my five cats, wherever they are. Dear Lord. Bye.